So today, as in the last lecture, we have started with the data transmission fundamentals. So today we would be continued, but before that, I want to show you the name of the reference books from which I have taken the first unit, or it is given also in the syllabus copy of the subject. So first book is the Data Communication and Networking, written by the Verhoeven Horogen. It is a very good book, and most of my topic that I am teaching you from the last lecture and now today's lecture, that is from this book. Second one is, actually it is a textbook mentioned in the syllabus, Data and Computer Communication, written by the William Stell. So both is very good book. One is from the McGraw-Hill, another is from the Pearson Education. Now we have to be moved to our actual topic, that is we have learned in the last lecture data transmission concepts and terminology, and on this the same area we have reached to the period and frequency. So we have defined the period. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the period? Period refers to the amount of time in the seconds the signal needs to complete one cycle. And the frequency is similar, in the similar phase, it is referring the number of periods completed in 1 second. Okay. So both are correlated to each other, and they are having the inverse relationship. We all know from the childhood when we have start to learn the science, what is the relationship between the frequency and time. And that is mentioned in the slide also. F is equal to 1 upon t, or t is equal to 1 upon n. And we have discussed one of the example to understand how to calculate the frequency from the sinusoidal signal. So here we have seen that there are 12 cycles that is completed, that would be considered as the 12 hertz frequency. And whatever the red highlighter, it is showing the one fundamental period to completion of one cycle. That is, here the time period is equal to 1 second upon 12, because 12 cycles are completed in 1 second. So 1 upon 12 second is the time period, and frequency is 12 hertz. Similarly, the next example, 1 upon 6 is the time period, and 6 hertz is the frequency. Now, if you proceed further, so we'll be take unit of frequencies and period. So I mentioned here, basically we use the seconds as a unit of the time period and hertz as a unit of the frequency. And I have also mentioned in the table how to represent the other units of the time period as well as the frequency. So milliseconds means 10 to the power minus 3 seconds. Then microsecond means 10 to the power minus 6 seconds. Nanosecond means 10 to the power minus 9 seconds. Picosecond 10 to the power minus 12. In the similar fashion, frequency, terahertz 10 to the power 12 hertz, gigahertz 10 to the power 9 hertz, megahertz 10 to the power 6 hertz. So these are basically the equivalent representations that you have to be know to solve the numericals based on this topic. Okay. Now we have to be take one of the example, and you have to be solved. As I have already mentioned in the group, that you have to be ready with the pen and notebook. Okay. So solve this problem. The power we use at home are a frequency of 50 Hz. In India, we have to be receive a power of 50 Hz. So what is the time period of this sine wave can be determined. So what is the time period? If you have to convert the 50 Hz into time period, so what is the time period? What is the relationship between frequency and time? Time period batao.
0.
Anyone has got the answer?
0.02.
0.02.
Yes.
Tell me.
0.02, sir.
0.02.
0.
Second, 20 microsecond.
Microsecond? No.
No,
In,
0.02
in terms of
second.
millisecond.
20 millisecond.
Yes, correct. Thanks. You have to be see, this is the solution. That is very simple. 0.02 second, or either you have to be 20 millisecond. Okay, both are the answer are correct. Very simple numerical. Avishka, anything want to speak? Okay, we move further. Next example. Express the 100 millisecond into microsecond. In 1 millisecond, there is 10 to the power minus 3 second, and 1 microsecond 10 to the power minus 6. So how you will be convert 100 millisecond into the microsecond? Very simple numerical.
Into 10 raised to minus 3.
10 raised to the power minus 3.
3.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else?
0.1 micro.
0.1 micro. Okay, two answers are coming. Okay, we have to be see the solution. How we have to be convert. So you have to be see 10 to the power 5 microsecond. Both answer that is given by you are not correct. 100 into 10 to the power minus 3. It is simple mathematics because a millisecond is there. And to convert it into the, first you have to convert into the seconds. And from the seconds you have to be converted into the microsecond. So we know that 1 microsecond is 10 to the power minus 6 seconds. So we have to multiply with the opposite term, 10 to the power 6 microsecond. Then the unit would be converted into the microsecond. And now 10 to the power 5 microsecond is the correct answer. Is it clear? It is very simple mathematics. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, if anyone has doubt, raise your hand or whatever you can speak on the mic. Now you have to be see the next example. The period of a signal is 100 millisecond. So what is its frequency in kilohertz? Half of the solution is displayed on the screen. Very simple mathematics is there. You have to be converted into the hertz, kilohertz. So for the time period is given, you have to be f is equal to 1 upon t. And so it is 1 upon 100 millisecond. Now you have to be converted into the kilohertz. So millisecond means 10 to the power minus 3 second. कितना हो जाएगा?
0.01 kilohertz.
0.01 kilohertz. Correct. Simple is there. They have to be go with that. So 10 to the power minus 2 kilohertz, or you can say 1 upon 100 kilohertz means 0.01 kilohertz. Okay. Now see the relationship between whatever we have done now. Frequency is the rate of change with respect to time, everyone knows. And change is a short span of time, it is called the high frequency. If change is over a long span of time, that means it is a low frequency signal. So if the signal is changing rapidly, so it is called as a high frequency. And if it is say changing very slowly, means the long span of time it takes to change, so it is having the low frequency signal. If signal does not change at all, so frequency is what? 0. Now, if a signal changes instantaneously, so its frequency is infinite. So this is some very interesting relationship that we forget generally when we study. But it is a very simple relationship that would be give you the help to solve the numericals. Okay. Now the next term is that is phase. We have learned about the amplitude, we have learned about the frequency and time period. Now the another aspect or characteristics of a signal, that is called the phase. So what is the phase? The term phase describes the position of the waveform relative to the time 0. From the 0th time, whatever the position of your waveform, that would be representing as a phase of that waveform. Means if we think of the wave as something that can be shifted backward or forward along the time axis, phase describes the amount of that shift. It indicates the status of the first cycle. So from where your first cycle would be started, that would be representing the phase. If it is started from the 0th time, okay, Harshal Ghule and Avishka, tell me what is your question? You have raised your hand. Anyone has doubt? Okay. Now, so phase describes the amount of that shift, means it indicates the status of the first cycle. So phase could be measured in degree or maybe a radian, and we have to know the relationship between both of them. Okay, so if we have to be see 360 degree is equivalent to the 2 pi radian, 1 degree is equivalent to 2 pi upon 360 radian, or 1 radian is equivalent to the 360 by 2 pi degree. Okay, so these are some mathematical relationship between degree and the radian is there. Now we have to be see one of the diagrammatic example is there. So what the example says, you have to be see there are the 3 sine waves with the same amplitude as shown, but all 3 signal having the different phase shift. Okay, so if you have to be see the first signal that is having the sine wave that start from the 0th time as per the definition of the phase we have seen. So this is a reference position, 0th time. So here the phase shift is 0 degree. There is no phase shift. But if you have to be moved to the second picture, B, here you have to be see that 1/4 of the time period of the first cycle has been shifted backward. Okay, T/4 section of that first cycle has been shifted backward. Means there is some phase shift. So basically we know that one cycle, complete cycle would be equivalent to the 360 degree. So if 1/4 of that cycle would be shifted backward or forward, whatever, here it is shifted backward, so it would be called as the offset. So 360 upon 4, that is 90 degree. So 90 degree phase shift occurs. Similarly, in the third picture, T/2th time of the period of the fundamental cycle would be shifted backward. Means 360/2, 180 degree phase shift is. So very simple calculation is there. Here you can see that picture B and C having the offset of 90 degree and 180 degree respectively. We have to be see another example, and you have to be solve this from the previous example. You have to be solve this. A sine wave is offset, means shifted backward 1/6 cycle with respect to time 0. So what is the phase in degree and radians? You have to be find out the phase shift in degree as well as in the radians. Can anyone solve this? I know this is very simple mathematics, but if you will be solve it, so you would be more clear
60
idea.
degree.
Okay, yeah.
60
Tell
degree.
me.
60
60 degree. Very good. And
60
in
degree.
radians? In radians?
In pi by 3 radian. Pi by 3 radian.
Pi by 3
3.
radians. Okay. Now, Farooqi has been solved this. So we have to see what is the answer. One complete cycle is equivalent to 360 degree. So 1/6 cycle means 60 degree is the answer. And if you have to be convert into the radian, pi by 3 radian means 1.046 radian. Is very simple mathematics is there. Rest of you also you have to be contribute your answer. Only 1 or 2 students are contributing. If you would be solve it, your interest would be also generated in the topic as well as the your concept would be more clear. Okay. Now we have to be see the next parameter, that is called the wavelength. So what is the wavelength? Wavelength is another characteristic of the signal traveling through the transmission medium. Wavelength is what? Wavelength binds the period or the frequency of the simple sine wave to the propagation speed of the medium. Okay, so it is little bit complex definition we can say, but the simpler one is also present. I will be telling you. First of all, we have to be understood through the diagram. What is the wavelength actually? So wavelength is what? We have the diagram. There is a time domain sine wave is shown. In the first picture, what is there? There is a transmission medium. At time t, they have been be captured the propagation of the sine wave signal. At time t, if you have to the length of the sinusoidal signal is 3t, capital T is here the time period of one cycle. So 3 cycle has been completed. Okay, at the time t. But when you have to be increased t plus t time, when you have to be capture same propagation on the t plus t time, capital T time, so you have to be see that this wave has been propagated and travel a distance that is called the capital T, and that traveling distance is nothing but the wavelength of the signal. So you can also define the wavelength as the wavelength is the distance a simple signal can travel in one period. Wavelength is the distance a simple signal can travel in one period. We know that the frequency of the signal is independent of medium, but wavelength depends upon medium as well as the frequency of the signal. So it is a depending parameter or characteristic. Okay. And wavelength can be calculated. One of the given parameter, that is either the propagation speed or the period of the signal. Because we have learned the definition, wavelength of the signal is nothing but it binds the time period or frequency of a waveform with respect to the propagation speed of the medium. So we have to see the mathematical relationship in the next slide. If the wavelength is represented by the lambda, generally wavelength is represented by the lambda, and propagation speed is represented by the speed c, that is the speed of the light. So and frequency is f. So we have to be define the formula. Can anyone define the formula wavelength? All the parameters is given. We have learned already in the 12th class, even in the engineering physics. What is the relationship between the wavelength lambda with respect to the speed of light c and the frequency? Lambda is equal to what? As per the formula, wavelength is equal to propagation speed into time period or propagation speed upon frequency. Okay.
C by f, lambda.
C by f, yes. C is here the propagation speed and f is the frequency, or either you can say C into T, time period. Okay. Because frequency and time period is inversely proportional to each other. The propagation speed of the electromagnetic signal depend upon the medium and on the frequency of the signal. From this particular definition, we have to become one conclusion that propagation speed of the electromagnetic signal depends upon the medium and the frequency of the signal, because f is here, and medium, why it is medium? Because the speed of light is different in the different medium. Okay, so we can see in the vacuum the light travel with the speed of 3 into 10 to power 8 meters per second, but the same light would be travel with a lower speed in the air, and it would be more lower in the any other medium like cable, okay, wires. So that's why the medium would be also affect the value of the wavelength as well as the frequency. Now we have to be see all the characteristics has been defined: amplitude, frequency, time period, phase, wavelength. Now we have to be see the concept of the time and frequency domain. Okay, so what are the time and frequency domain concepts? A sine wave is comprehensively defined by its amplitude, phase, frequency, we know that, and generally we use the time domain plot, but in the data communication, frequency domain plot having the dominance. We have to see the time domain plot shows the changes in the signal amplitude with respect to the time, and but phase is not explicitly shown in the time domain plot. Generally, phase is not defined in the time domain plot. Okay. So to show the relationship between the amplitude and the frequency, we generally use a frequency domain plot in the data communication. It is more easier way to representing the any signal. A frequency domain plot is concerned with the peak value and the frequency. So change of the amplitude during one period generally not shown. In the frequency domain, we generally focus on the composite signals where the multiple frequency sine wave signals are there. So we have to see through the diagram and understand what is the time domain concept and what is the frequency domain concept. In this diagram, we have to see easily in the figure 7. First diagram A, a sine wave with the time domain. You can see periodic sinusoidal signal has shown here with the peak amplitude of the 5 volt, and in 1 second it covers the 6 cycles, so it is having the frequency of 6 hertz. Same signal is shown in the frequency domain, only a single spike is required. So here you can see in the second picture the same sine wave with the frequency domain, and their amplitude is also again same 5 volt, but only one spike is required, that is at the 6 hertz frequency. So this is the beauty of the frequency domain representation. Okay, it is more simpler. So we have to see a complete sine wave in time domain can be represented by one single spike in the frequency domain. So in this way you can see that the frequency domain is more compact and useful when we dealing with the more than one sine wave. Okay, in the previous diagram you have to see a single sine wave, periodic sine wave. It is very simpler looking in the time domain. But suppose assume such a situation when you have the 10 sine waves on the same time domain having the different frequency. So it is very difficult to plot also and understand also in the time domain. But in the frequency, what happens, even it is having the 10 signals, having the 10 different frequency, only you have to require 10 spikes at different frequencies. So it is very easier to understand what is going on with the signal. So it is more compact and useful when we are dealing with the multiple sine waves. So, okay. So now in the next figure 8, it shows the 3 sine waves, each with the different amplitude and frequency, and all could be represented by the 3 spikes in the frequency domain. This is the situation that I am going to discuss. When we are using, you have to see in the diagram figure 8a, there are the 3 different waves on the time domain. One is having the frequency 0, so it is uniform at the amplitude 15 volt. Okay. Another is having the frequency 8 hertz, that is having the amplitude 10 volt, so it would be shown through the pink sinusoidal signal. And third one is the green signal, color signal, that is having the frequency of 16 hertz and peak amplitude is 5 volt. So when the number of signals is increasing, it is makes complexity, increasing the complexity to representation as well as understanding. But as compared to this time domain, when you have to come into the frequency domain, then what happens? Then at that time, you have to see only 3 spikes are required. Only 3 spikes are required. One is at the 15 volt, that is having the frequency 0. Another is having the frequency 8 hertz and peak amplitude 10 volt. And last one is 16 hertz frequency and amplitude of the 5 volt. Understood everyone? It is very simple to represent. That's why it is mostly used in the data communication. So what we have to note here, a single frequency sine wave is not useful in the data communication. We need to send a composite signal, a signal made of the many simple sine waves. So when you are using a composite signal, so for the mathematical interpretation, you have to be required a Fourier analysis to mathematically define the composite signal. Okay. So because a composite signal is having the combination of multiple sine waves with the different frequencies, amplitude and phases. So here you have to be see in the Fourier series, any composite sinusoidal signal could be represented as the formula or equation ST, instantaneous value of the signal, is equal to A naught plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity a n sine 2 pi n ft plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinite bn cos 2 pi n ft. So what is this? All this a naught is nothing but an average value or DC component of the signal over a period. So it is 1 upon t 0 to t st dt. This is the formula for finding out the a naught value. Another is the an, that is the coefficient of the nth cosine component. Okay, so it is defined by 2 by t 0 to t st cos 2 pi n ft dt. Similarly, the bn is the coefficient of the nth sine component, and the formula is mentioned in the slide.
हेलो, आवाज येत नाही सर. आवाज येत नाही सर.
साउंड का इशू है क्या?
हो.
हेलो हेलो. Next one is, if composite signal is periodic, the decomposition gives us a series of signals with discrete frequency. Again, there is a two category of the composite signal. One signal is called the periodic composite signal, other is called the non-periodic composite signal. But when you're dealing with the periodic composite signal, its decomposition would be give you a series of signals with a discrete frequency. But if you're dealing with the non-periodic composite signal, the decomposition would be give you a combination of sine waves with continuous frequency. How? We have to be seen in the next diagram. Figure 9 shows that a periodic composite signal with a frequency f. This type of signal is not typically of those found in the data communication, because signals and we can consider it to be a 3 alarm system, each with the different frequency, and the analysis of these signals can hello. Okay, so we have to be see, we can consider it to be 3 alarm system and having the different frequency. So we have to be, it is a very good example how to decompose the signal. This is the first diagram where you have to be see a composite periodic signal having the single frequency. Okay, so it is a decomposition of the composite signal. It is a square wave in the dashed line. A square wave is a combination of the nth number of the sinusoidal signal. Here the single frequency, so this kind of representation has not useful in the data communication. But if you have to be consider this signal square wave having the 3 different sine waves, having the 3 different frequencies in this figure, like in the figure 10, and having the 3 sinusoidal signal that is shown in the different colors, pink, blue and black, and having the different frequency f, 3f and 9f. So here you have to see the signal with having the frequency f, that is amplitude, peak highest amplitude or the peak amplitude A, and that is a signal with having the frequency 3f, that is amplitude of 1/3 of the peak amplitude, and the signal frequency having the 9f having the amplitude of the 1/9 of the peak amplitude. And that could be a time domain representation, can be converted into the frequency domain by applying the Fourier series. You have to be see that the first, there are 3 spikes are only required to represent, and the first is at the frequency f, that is having the highest amplitude A. Second one is at the 3f, that is having the amplitude of the A/3, and third is the amplitude having the A/9 in the 9f frequency. So this is the way that how to decompose the composite periodic signal in the time domain axis and frequency domain axis. Okay, so we have already learned that a periodic composite signal could be decomposed into the discrete frequencies. Okay, but instead of this, if there is a non-periodic composite signal, so it is a representation in the frequency domain as a continuous frequency. Continuous labels are there. We have to see in the further slides. Okay. So whatever the frequency of the sine wave with the frequency f, that pink line is there, that is called the fundamental frequency or first harmonic. Okay, this f is called the fundamental frequency or the first harmonic. 3f is called as the third harmonic. Similarly, the 9f is called a ninth harmonic. So as the number of harmonics would be increases, the amplitude would be decreases or more distortion is there. Okay, that's why the fundamental frequency having the highest peak amplitude. Now we have to go with the next example, that is having the non-periodic composite signal. हेलो
हाँ सर, ऑडियो प्रॉब्लम होतोय, स्किप होतोय मेन पार्ट.
अभी आ रहा है? हेलो
हाँ अभी आ रहा है अभी.
ओके.
तुम समझाने जाते हो, वो कंपोजिट वाला पीरियड वाला तो पण स्किप झालता.
यस. So all of you have seen this composite periodic signal?
Yes.
Okay, now we have to go over the non-periodic composite signal. So generally, what is a non-periodic composite signal? We can take an example of microphone, what now I am using, or in any telephone set, where you have to be, any person would be continuously saying the similar kind of the word or with the same tone. So then at that time there is no any periodicity has to be maintained. It is non-periodic signal. Sometimes its frequency would be increased, sometimes decrease. Okay, so this is the one of the example of the non-periodic composite signal. We have to see in the next diagram. So this is the time domain representation of this non-periodic signal, whatever we are talking in the mic or in any telephone set or some other PA system. And when we have to convert this non-periodic composite signal into frequency domain, so this kind of the continuous pattern would be generated. Okay, and you can see here the fundamental frequency is f, where the amplitude would be nearly maximum, and it would be remains on the maximum amplitude, and after some time it would be decreased when you have to go the higher frequency range. So it would be start from the 0th frequency to some maximum frequency. Here it is shown as the 4 kilohertz, but it could be any value. So this is the way of difference to representation of periodic composite signal and non-periodic composite signal. In the periodic composite signal, there are simple spikes at different frequency levels, and in the non-periodic composite signal, it is a continuous frequency pattern. Okay. Now we have to see how to find out the bandwidth from this description. So bandwidth is normally a difference between the two numbers, means highest frequency value and the lowest frequency value. One of the example is mentioned, lowest value is the 1000 hertz and highest value is the 5000 hertz. So the bandwidth is 5000 minus 1000, that is 4000 hertz. So it is the difference between the highest and lower frequency components present in this signal. So this is the diagram. So this is the first one that is showing the periodic composite signal, that is having the lowest frequency at the 1000 hertz and highest frequency at the 5000 hertz. And we can easily find out the bandwidth 5000 minus 1000, 400 hertz. And every frequency there is some spikes are there, discrete patterns are there, because it is a periodic signal representation. But when you have to go for the non-periodic signal representation, it is a continuous pattern. This is the major difference. Bandwidth is similar, calculation is similar, but the representation is different. Here you can't find out the value of the signal at instantaneous frequency, but here you can easily find out, because each and every frequency component having some amplitude, discrete amplitude. Okay, so this is the major difference between both of them. So solve this numerical based on the similar topic. What is the numerical says that a periodic signal is decomposed into 5 sine waves with the frequency 100, 300, 500, 700 and 900 hertz. What is its bandwidth? Draw the spectrum and assume all components having the maximum amplitude of the 10 volt. So first of all, tell me what is the bandwidth of this? It is not possible to see your spectrum how you are drawing, but tell me the value of the bandwidth.
800. 800.
800 hertz, correct. Because the maximum frequency is 900 hertz and lowest frequency is the 100 hertz. And what is the spectrum is there? See in this diagram. Because it is a periodic signal and only the 5 sinusoidal having that different frequency 100, 300, 500, 700. At different 5 frequency we have to be show the 5 different spikes. And also mention in the question that they are all having the same amplitude, that is a 10 volt. That's why the level of the signal is same. Understood? Okay. Surbi Navle. What is the question? Any question? Okay, next example. A periodic signal has bandwidth of 20 hertz, highest frequency 60 hertz. What is the lowest frequency? And draw the spectrum if the signal contains all frequency of the same amplitude. Again, the periodic composite signal example. You have given a bandwidth and you have given the FH. You have to find out the FL first. So what is the value of FL? Bandwidth is given and FH is given. Very simple, FL. Anyone tell me?
40 hertz.
Yeah, yes, correct. Simple calculation, bandwidth is equal to FH minus FL, 20 is equal to 60 minus FL, FL is equal to 40 hertz. And this spectrum contains all the integer frequencies. Okay, so the series of spikes see in the next diagram. From the 40 hertz, this is the FL and the FH is the 60 hertz. In between 40 to 60, because it is having a 20 hertz bandwidth, each and every frequency 41, 42, 43 up to the 58, 59, 60. There is the same amplitude spike is there because it is a periodic composite signal. Okay. Now go with the another example. Now the example of the non-periodic composite signal has the bandwidth of 200 kilohertz and middle frequency is given because it is not possible. It is given a middle frequency 140 kilohertz and peak amplitude is also given at the